Hello, everyone. I'm Cynthia Myers Morrison, and welcome to the Food Addiction Institute YouTubes. And it's such a pleasure for me to be here with Agnes, and she will introduce herself a little bit more, but she's going to share her story uh, about food addiction. So here she is.
Hi. Yes, my name is Agnes Thora, and I'm from Iceland. I've been abstinent for over 20 years now, and I'm going to tell you a little bit what did bring me here. I was never abused. I was never big as a child, but I know that I had this problem from uh, forever. When I was a child, I was always crying if I couldn't get enough of the good food. I liked all the sweeteners and ice creams and all that good stuff. So there was something different from other people or other children. And and I know that I got it from my parents because there's so much uh, problems, both my families, and I knew it all. Well, I learned it also by being with all these big people. I was about 20 years old when I got my first pregnancy, and that was when I just blow out. I got very heavy, and I think it was about 26 kilos. I think it's about something 60 or 7 pound, 60 or 70 pounds. I think it's something like that. Um, and I didn't get it off until I got abstinent from all the food that I was just eating all day long. From the beginning, I'd always said that my only meal was from the time I wake up in the morning and until I was in blackout in the sofa in the evening. So it was a one big meal. I never stopped. It was eating, 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 and I was hiding food from my children and my family so I would be able to get enough. And I was eating when they didn't see and always hiding it. And I was not honest in any way about my food and all other stuff. So it's just started. Well, I think that started when I was a kid because I was stealing money to be able to buy some candy and stuff like that. So I know it was it was never healthy. I was never healthy among other people and food. It was not. It was only. It was. I was always lying, and I wasn't like other kids. I was always um, dishonest and trying to cheat on getting food and cheating on everyone to my friends to get food, and so it was never healthy life I had. So and when I got married and I got my first child. I was allowed to eat a lot, and I did. And I was heavy for a couple of years, very heavy for a couple of years, and then I started on trying to get it off. And I was trying all kinds of diets all year around, and that never worked. It maybe worked for a day or two or maybe a week if it was something healthier than other diets. And but it was always abused in some way. All the diets that in that time, it's so a long time ago, 40 years ago. So, and I tried all kinds of exercise also, but I am not the athletic or the people. I'm not like people who likes to go to the gym because I hate it. It was that time. It was for me like I don't know. Don't what the English words for it. English is not my first language, but it was like I felt abused there. I couldn't do the things they were asking me to do because I was a very heavy woman, and at the end, well, I'm not at the end. I tried many years, but it never worked, and I was always putting some money in it, and well, and I was trying all these diets and try to get people with me in it. And my sister, we were always together, me and my sister. We were trying to because he's also a food addict like me and like most of the family. um, but it didn't work. Everything we tried didn't work. So I was just decided just to let go. I was just going to be fat, and I didn't feel well. I was the fat has uh, made me physically very sick. My knees were very bad, and my back prolapse, some four prolapse in the back, and it. I know that not just fat people get prolapse, but I did, and in my neck and everywhere. And my stomach was in a bad condition also. So and spiritual and and well, everything was in a bad shape. I was in that state. I didn't care for me or anyone anymore. It was like that, and I got divorced, and the things got much worse after that. And every year I got worse, and now after that, then them eating was out of control. There was didn't matter what I if I was trying not to eat. I was always trying to eat healthy, but it didn't matter because if I had been very good in it yesterday, then it was okay to eat today because it was I was so good in it yesterday. And if I was bad yesterday, well, then I can't just continue being eating junk, junk food or doing something bad or not taking care of myself or the kids. But and my weighing thing, if I lost 1 kilo or like a 1.5 pounds or something like that, 2 pounds, or then I could eat today because I lost this yesterday. So it was just in my mind all this nonsense. So my sister got abstinent in food 1.5 year before me, and she found this 12-step program, and I was not going to go there. I was not going to weigh my food. It was embarrassing, and I was not going to do that. It was the lowest of the lowest to do that in front of people. So I was arrogant, and after I saw my sister uh, getting thinner, thinner, and she was glowing. Her daughter also, she went there also, and um then I decided that I was going to give it a try. for them, not for me. I was arrogant, like I told you. And I went to this meeting where there were a lot of beautiful, thin women, and there was one man there also in this meeting. And I, uh, it was the first time I got to these meetings where 12-step meeting. I didn't know what it was because alcohol has never been I was never addicted to that, and I don't even drink. I have never done it, or I never smoked. That was not my thing. Drinking and smoking. That was the food, the chocolate and the potatoes and maize, um, the starch. Yeah, that was my thing. And I was in this meeting, and I they were talking my language. They were talking. I understood them because they were telling my story and what they had been through, and what had happened in their lives. And that was the same that had happened in my life about the food and many other things that had the same uh, tone like my life had been. Divorcing and raising, be alone, a single mama for 15 years and doing it, doing it all by myself and all that. Um, but, yes, so I decided to try, and I got this sponsor that told me how the program works and what I did have to do. I did take out sugar and starch. That was the food I had been living on for ages, and I took it off, and I didn't eat it. So uh, I thought it would be a big deal, but it wasn't. Um, I weigh and measure my food because I don't have this on off here to tell me when I've got enough or I haven't got enough. So I use my scale to this, and she helped me. The scale, it helps me. Uh, it tells me how much I should eat and when. That was 3 meals a day and nothing in between. I did drink coffee and water and and some tea and coffee and like that. Um, and I after about I was a little busy for the in the beginning to put everything on a scale and having it all right, all the fresh vegetable, all the cooked vegetables, and my protein and fat, and and I was a little busy for 4 days to do it all right. But after my 4 days abstinent, sorry, then I found that I wasn't uh, I didn't sick for the food I had lived on for decades. Sorry. Um, I didn't miss it. I was uh, I was full every day of good food, and I was so glad that I had this. I call it fans about around my food. Um, uh, I had asked for it for decades, that someone would take me over and tell me what to eat, how much, and when. And I thought it would be just a good chief. That or we'll call it, uh, yeah, chief in English, chef. Yeah. But it wasn't a chef. It was just me, and I was the chef. But I got these fans that I could stay in, and I was safe there. I wasn't listening to some ideas people had about my food and what I should do or shouldn't do. I was just there with this community and my sponsor and and I was free. I had never been free in my food before. I was always wondering if this would be good enough, or have I eaten enough, or haven't I eaten enough, and when should I eat next time, and everything, how much, and all that, and what stuff. But now I just got this uh, sponsor with all this information, and I got this surrounding people that was helping me, and I was using all the equipment I got, my skill, my 12-step program, my sponsor, my community that was full of people that was like me, and I didn't feel like I was a stranger there. I was welcome, and it has no dress code. You just was welcome there like you were, and it was perfect. And I had no longing in eating what I what I had been eating for, like I said, decades. And of course, I had been feeding my children. I had three at that time. I had um, three uh, teenagers, and and I was just feeding them crap. After I got abstinent, I we had to change that because I was not going to feed them trash when I was eating the healthy thing. So I started just by doing it very easy, and they saw how beautiful my food looked like. All this color and my vegetables and fresh vegetable, yeah, fresh and cooked, and I started by doing the protein they liked, and I had a lot of this beautiful vegetables, and I sometimes tell people that I got them to eat carrots by putting sugar-free syrup, caramel syrup into it, and they were willing to try it and eat it like that. And I'm still giving them. Now they are over 40 and they have their own children and families, and they all go, where's the carrots, mom? Why are not carrots on this table when I'm asking them for dinner or something? So they learned to eat vegetables and all kinds of vegetables, not the easy one like tomatoes and cucumbers, all vegetables. And I cook them, and well, I am a good cook. I admit it. Um, I
I
have
would
learned
agree.
to yeah, again.
I would agree. You are a great
Yeah,
cook.
yeah, I love it when I have people around, and Cynthia, she has eaten at my home, and well, it's easy for me to do it. I was always asking for someone to take care of it for me, but I was the one that was taking care of myself with this help that I got from my community, my 12-step program that helped me and saved my life. I've been abstinent since the 9th of August 2004. So that's over 20 years. And I count every day because one day as a food addict is a miracle if you can stand um, and do the program. 3 meals a day, nothing between, but coffee or tea and sugarless soda if you like that. And and I've been doing that for all this time. So I have learned that uh, I I've become a uh, long timer in this program. And I couldn't stay on a diet for one day or not even until noon. So so I know how it is to be there struggling and uh, in that hell that food uh, 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 food addiction can be if you're not sober or, or like we call it in the food. So I've been
Agnes, can you say how many kilos you were? Because some, while the weight is only one of the measures, how many kilos were you?
yeah.
When you began, how many and
Well, I
how many
was
now?
about in kilos. I ran kilos or more because I didn't go to the scale all the last times. It was so I know it was over 110, maybe to 115, and I got down to 65. So I lost half of me, about a little less than half of me, and I've been staying in my same kilo for 20 years, and it's amazing. I can use all the clothing I bought 20 years ago. Well, I would, but I'm always buying something new. But I could,
But you
I
could.
could, yeah, I could.
So in pounds, you said to 65 kilos?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm up between 65 or
I-
60 or 70, somewhere
Yeah.
there.
So from
Sometimes more.
253 pounds down to 143 or 153, thereabouts. And you're how tall?
Well, I'm 172. That's about
172.
5 on 6 or 7, or I'm not sure in what you can measure
I'll
it.
do it. Yeah.
172 centimeters.
Yeah. 172 centimeters, 2 inches. Um, oops. Oops. No, I did it incorrectly. Just 1 second. 172 centimeters to feet. It's 5 feet 7, almost 5 feet 8.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
Well, I'm a tall
thank you.
woman, and
Yes.
I'm like an Icelandic Viking woman. We do everything and by ourselves. So I'm though I'm not going to the gym, I do can do everything.
Can you
I do
can you
everything I
tell
see.
one of your favorite outdoor activities
Well, I have
previously?
to. I have dogs, and I go a lot of walking with my dogs, and in the summer times, well, I live in Iceland, so and with it's a lot of snow now. I'm not using my bicycle in the winter, but in the summertime, I use my bicycle also. So
I
I
was
like
thinking of
to go.
fishing.
Yeah, I was going to say that I'm a fly fisher also, and my husband, and we go a lot of fly fishing in the summertime, and there are. That's my favorite activity because standing in the Icelandic rivers and fly fishing and walking over this beautiful country and being alone there with the the river and the surroundings. That's the nicest thing to ever be able to do and walk on mountains. Yes, I like that. So in the summer times, I have my activity and I take my dogs with me
And
so
tell
we
us
can
about your
be out together.
dogs. You have,
Yeah, Mickey. There's well, one is lying here beside me, sleeping, and the other one is on the floor there. I
oh,
have two of them now. I imported them from the States, from Florida, a few years ago, and I'm breeding them in Iceland with my sister, and oh, they are so nice, and they come very close to my heart to have them. Like like to have my uh, family and my grandchildren. I have 6 grandchildren, and yes, I have these three children, and they have now grown up and have their family. So um, life has changed a lot since I got abstinent. I was on that state that I could not uh, get through the day. I was very well. I didn't go outside. Otherwise, I did go to work,
Mhm.
but I didn't do anything else. I was just at home, taking very good care of my kids, though. I did feed them, though it was a junk of trash I did. But I was alone with them, and I took very good care of them. That's the thing that I did very well. And but I didn't take care of myself, or I didn't. I was on that state that it didn't matter if I was alive or dead. I was like that. I was not going to kill myself. It's not like that. Well, I did not. At least I didn't come. Was not at that state. But I don't know what had happened if my disease would have taken me more down. But I was saved by my family that was here in this 12 steps program before me, because I would never have done it myself, going there um, alone. I wouldn't have, because I was not able to. I know that. So when I when I because when I heard of this 12 steps program, I was not going to do it, but it just needed one. Uh, my higher power, it just had this one chance to get me into the 12-step program, and it happened. And I've been so lucky to be one day at a time, no matter what, for 20 years. And and I'm so grateful, because, well, I don't know. Well, if you like to know it, it's 7,475 days, because I count the days. 7,475 today, because I count the days. Um, that's amazing, because, like I said earlier, I couldn't do one day in my disease. So now I can do all the things I like to do. I'm happy in my own skin. Uh, I am been able to be at work, working. Uh, I was going to that place that I didn't work anymore. If I would have been longer in the disease, I know that I would have stopped working, because I was so heavy. Everything was wrong in my body and my brain. Well, it's still sick, but I'm getting better every day, every week, every month, every year, seeing how grateful, and I'm grateful, very grateful. I do this list every day for the things I'm grateful for, and I work the program every day, because if I would have been able to do it alone, I would have done it 40 years ago. But it's a we program. We do it together, and I'm never alone in this program. And I'm very grateful for that, because loneliness is a very bad thing. It is for someone who is sick. And I don't know what's I should tell you more. Maybe I could go forever, but uh, because I'm so grateful, I always, if I'm telling people about the community, I'm just always so thankful. And I'm so proud being among them. So great people. And they're working their way to be healthy day after day. Nobody is going to do it for you. I have to do it myself with the help I get. And there's always help. There's always this help helping hand. I can always reach out for someone to help, to talk to, and I trust them, and they trust me. And being there is so precious. Uh, having a community. Uh, I didn't do anything practiced like going on a bariatric surgery or taking. Well, I tried some pills or something to drink. I was yeah, I don't know. It's so long time. I just forgot what it's all called. But all this time, I just got abstinent. I don't need anything else. Just to weigh and measure my healthy food 3 times a day, and that's it. I don't have to think about or or doing anything else. And it's free. That is what is freeing me. So, well, I don't know what to say more than I'm happy in this all.
Well, I'm so grateful for you to share. Is there anything you would say to your younger self, um, when you were really young, about this kind of eating? And
Well, I wouldn't be able to. When I was a child,
Mhm.
I didn't know, or my family, they didn't know how to deal with this because everyone was fat, and that uh, was 60 years. I'm 63 years old. Uh, 60 years ago, nobody was talking about not eating the sugars or, or things like that. So I wouldn't. Well, there was always talking about not eating so much, but I, w- well, I was always a big eater, also a volume eaters. But as a young woman, when people start talking about uh, we should eat healthier, I did listen to it, and I was trying to eat healthier,
Mhm.
plus all this bad thing. But
Right.
as a mother now, with so much appreciate that I knew it when my kids was a little bit younger to how to how I could get them to eat healthier. Nowadays, it's no excuses for feeding children all kinds of stuff because we know what stuff isn't good for children
Mhm.
to grow up with. So mm, I know that my children, they know now how to feed their children, and my grandchildren, they are eating much healthier than I was feeding my children when they were kids. So I know that my abstinence and me teaching them, my children, how to feed their children, had helped these youngest uh, how to live their life among
Mhm.
food. So they know what's good for you and they know what is not good for you.
And you've made a difference. Could you
Yeah.
could you talk about when you realized you were a food addict? How did you know you were a food addict, and how did that change things?
Well, I knew it when I went to this community 12-step program that something was very big. There was a big problem with me. Um, and I didn't know that it was called food addiction. I got to uh, intensive one weekend where there was a couple that came from Florida uh, that was holding this program, and with my sister, she's also there, then I got this right name on it. What was wrong with me? That it was a food addict, um, uh, because then I learned that there was it didn't matter what I did. I didn't know how to treat this because I didn't know that I was all alone. I was a food addict, not only a loser and couldn't eat. Wasn't able to control my eating. That it was a disease in my head, and I was. It was just early in my abstinence because I was so lucky to be among people that knew and was educating other people that it was a food addiction that was causing all this eating and this eating disorder, and what it was just a thing in our head that was making us eat. So all this dopamine and endorphin and all that stuff that was controlling me, and it didn't matter what my will didn't matter because if I had eaten some of the stuff that get it going, then I couldn't stop. So after I got abstinent, and I didn't understand why this did matter, why I couldn't eat all this starch and sugars and all that with it. I'm not eating anymore, and it healed me. Well, it didn't. Well, I'm still sick if I would eat it, but it made me better and getting better every day. So I learned that it was a food addiction, and I've known it nearly from the beginning of my abstinence. So it was about 20, maybe 18 years ago that I learned about food addiction. Before that, I was just one of the fat one that couldn't stop eating and couldn't control myself, and I couldn't work out, and I was just a loser. But after I found out that I was a food addict, and I am, and I got it by my genes, and I learned it both.
The
So
lifestyle.
yeah.
It's a great gift to know that there's no shame and no blame for what we didn't know. But from the moment we know that abstinence from those substances and behaviors that are my own, because mine may not be exactly the same as everybody else's, but if I find that there's something that calls my name, it says, Cynthia, come to me. I cannot eat that, whatever that is. And that
Yeah.
behavior that does the same thing, that I need to abstain from those behaviors also. And
Yeah.
I've changed a lot, like you, changed a lot over the years. So
Mhm.
thank you so much for sharing your story and for sharing about the young people and your family and how much of a difference it's made to your next generation, your
Mm.
grandchildren. And
Yeah.
as it continues on through the epigenetic changes that we can change, we can change. Oh,
Yeah, we
yeah.
still can.
I'm so grateful to you. And Food
Me
Addiction
too.
Institute, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Agnes. Thank you.
Thank you.
No matter what. Thank you.
No matter what.